I'm sorry. So how higher education and society is related to each other. Definitely, I will focus especially in Indian society in the sense that this program is basically in order to cater the professional requirements of the teachers. And NEP orientation and sensitization, that is the nomenclature which has been given to this program. And 8 themes have been identified. Very important themes have been identified. And I have been told that seven themes have already been covered. And today is the last day. And the other equally important theme of this discussion is higher education and society. Of course, we know pretty well that the role of education as a whole is very important for shaping the society, for creating a very viable, progressive, modern, or 21st century of type of society. And how higher education is going to shape, how higher education is going to lead basically, and how higher education is going to function as a very viable tool, as a very important tool in order to take the society at the higher pedestal. Or in this globalized era, I think every society is interconnected or interdependent. So we are also learning a great deal from the other society, and we are going to implement the same. We are going to do the same for our own society so that we could take our society at par with any developed nations of the world. And it was rightly pointed out by our colleague that Vikshit Bharat means by 2047, how we are going to achieve, what is the vision, what is the roadmap basically, in order to achieve or in order to realize the great dream of the Vikshit Bharat or the developed nation. So that time is not very, very far off. Hardly 25 or 23 years are left. So within that, we need to achieve. So what kind of a strategy we could adopt so that we will be able to achieve this target or achieve this vision? And one of the aspects I would like to focus over here is teachers. And the role of teachers have been identified in this national education policy or in this society, that their role is going to be very profound, or is going to be very imminent, or is going to be very, very important one. If we are really interested to realize the vision of the Dikshit Bharat or the developed nation, the role of the teacher or the function of teachers is going to be very, very vital, very crucial. Hence, this kind of program is also very, very important. So 8 themes. Why these 8 themes? Simply because we as a teacher can sensitize enough about the role and the responsibility of the national education policy, which is going to decide the fate of this great nation. Means education and this policy, NEP, is having a lot of potential. So is the case of our own nation. So India is having a lot of potential, but at the same time, many challenges, enormous or profound challenges are there before all of us. So we need to overcome all these challenges. And this could be made very possible if we are going to play a very crucial role, taking the advantage, taking the benefit of this National Education Policy 2020, because it is going to stay for many years. Means by 2035 or 40, it is going to stay. It is going to play a very crucial role. In 2020, we know pretty well that it has already been implemented. So it is implemented technically speaking, but if you see the spirit, I think the role of the teachers becomes very important. Unless until we play our very profound role, things are will not move in the positive direction. To take the society, to take this policy, I think our role is has been identified as a very crucial one. Hence, this kind of program is being organized so that we, the people, we, the teachers, we, the faculty, which is running into 15 lakhs, means 1.5 million teachers are there. It's a huge number. It's a huge number in the sense that, but of course, again, there is a challenge, there is a catch, many catches. So we need to discuss all the catches, all these challenges, so that we could be able to understand what are the challenges before all of us. If we will break the challenge, we will overcome the challenge, definitely we will be able to take this society, our own society, at par with any developed nations of the world. Even we can go far behind, above that. Taking this spirit into the mind, this policy has been enacted, this policy has been implemented. So now the role, now the turn comes as how we all are going to play our very active role or proactive role. For that matter, we need to discuss so many things. So I think it has been discussed that Indian knowledge system. Of course, nobody is saying that we should not take something from the outside. If anything happens in any parts of the world, that is good. And the best practices, we should grab that practices, we should grab that opportunity. But at the same time, we are sitting at our own treasure. We are sitting because our past is very, very golden. Our past is very, very important one. Once upon a time, in ancient times, many university, higher education universities were existing in our own, like Taxila, Nalanda, and many more universities were there. And the foreign scholars used to come. But what happened thereafter, we will need to see, we will need to make research. So we need to develop our own research activities so that we could understand our past, our cultural heritage and our civilization, so that we could use, as we all know that the role of the history is also very important. Why do we study history? We try to understand history or historical events so that we could better understand the present and we could be able to make our future a better future. So our history, our culture is very, very strong. So yes, so Indian knowledge system provides a great opportunity. I'm sure that a scholar must have discussed in great details, and would have benefited a lot. So in these contemporary times, we all know that it is the age of interdiscipline. Means the issues and the challenges are very, very complex. So it is getting complex and complex. Unless until we adopt the approach, uh, uh, unless until we adopt the approach that would be multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, I think we will not be able to understand the complexity of the issues. If we fail to understand, definitely we will not provide the possible solution. So it has been said in this national education policy by 2035 or at most 40, I think every institution is going to be converted into the multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary. I think knowledge cannot be compartmentalized. So it should be seen as a holistic one. As it is said that the holistic and multidisciplinary education must have been discussed by some of the scholars. At the same time, research and development. We all know that where do we stand? If you measure, if we try to understand the global level, I think there is a serious issue in the sense that our academic institutions are not doing so well as compared to rest of the world. So we need to, there is something serious problem. There is something issues. So we as a teacher must sensitize enough to take the research in a very big way. And again, it has been said that whatever the academic institutions or the research institutions are there, bodies are there, they are not adequate, in the sense that now we are going to establish the NRF, National Research Foundation. The function of the NRF is to fund adequately to all the academic institutions, to all of us, in fact, so that we will be able to make a research, and we should contribute in the progress and the development of the society, because the research is directly related to the development or developmental activities. So we'll be able to eradicate poverty, we'll be able to deal with the unemployment, we'll be able to also reduce the inequality which is prevailing in the society in terms of social categories or in terms of the gender. So gender is one of the very serious issues. Means how we can make our society that will be gender sensitive or pro-gender. because 50% of the population of our national population belongs to the category of the women, means they belong to 50% almost. And here, if you see the share and the presence of the women in any activities, either economic, politics, or social kind of things, or employment, I think they are not adequately represented. So they are, in fact, they are grossly underrepresented. So it is the responsibility of the academia or the academics or the faculty like all of us to discuss as how to make our class a gender sensitive class or gender sensitive society. So it is the big function and it is the responsibility of all of us, so that they could also participate in the national activities or the economic activities of the nation. So in the growth of the nation, the contribution must be also made on the part of the women. So we need to empower them in terms of economic empowerment, political empowerment, social empowerment. These all are the issues we need to identify. So what basically I am interested to discuss over here, let us try to understand the larger picture, larger issues. As I said to you, and it must have been told by many people or many scholars, that India has a lot of potential, no doubt about that. As we say that India is having the system of education that is considered to be one of the largest system or the biggest system in the sense that it stands just after the United States of America and China. Means it is the third largest system. But again, there is a catch. So this third largest system, but the requirement of our nation, if you see in terms of the requirement, again, these academic institutions are not adequate, are not good enough in terms of the expansion, means growth, as well as the quality. Seriousness is found. I think problems lies not only with this quality, but also expansion. As we say that today, right now, we have grown, or we have achieved the level of 25 or 26% of the gross enrollment ratio of our own country. So 26. And in this policy, national education policy, it is clearly said that we need to grow or achieve the target of 50%. Why? There is a logic in this. If you take our dream that Viksit Bharat or developed nation, if you see the scenario in the developed nation like United States of America or the other European society or the countries, over there, the gross enrollment ratio in the United States of America is estimated to be in the range of 85 to 90%. If you see the scenario in case of the European Union societies or the countries, again, it is running, or it falls into the category of the 60 to 70%. In case of Germany, Germany has crossed 70%. In case of France, I think 65%. In case of other countries, 60, 62%. And here we are hovering.
Raman sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Actually, if you have some PPT and if you can share, that would be fine. So that
I will. You give me 3 minutes, and then
sorry,
I'm giving the background.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I'm just giving you the background. And thereafter, I have a lot of PPT running into 40. So
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yes, so I will show you the PPT. No doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
So you give me just 5 minutes more, so that
no issue, sir. No issue, sir.
Yes,
please take it.
Okay. So what basically I am interested to talk to you that again 50% is nothing. But if you see the scenario of the gross enrollment ratio 20 years before or 15 years before, it was pathetic. Hardly 10 to 12% more there. Gross enrollment ratio was found in this country. So if we wish to, one of the indicator to which we say that like what we call the per capita income, and then growth rate should be, I think, should go before 8 to 9%. In the same way, I think a gross enrollment ratio is also a very important one. It is one of the indicators. If we become developed, definitely it will rise, and it has to rise. Means gross enrollment ratio means access to education to the people or to the population, which is just 1/4 today. But anyhow, we need to make it to 50% by, you all know that by 2035, that time is not very far off. So these are the challenges. And other thing to which I would like to proceed further, before, I would like to tell you that what is the scenario of this population. Means ours is a country to which is very rich in terms of the population. And sometimes people say that population, whether population, growth of population or the big chunk of the population should be celebrated as the asset, or whether it will be considered as the liability, or the whether it would be called as the boon or the bane, or liability or the assets. So these kind of questions must have been discussed by in the academia or academic circle, that whether population, since very recently India has surpassed, or India has replaced China in terms of the population. Now it is India has become the first or the most populous country on the earth. So again, whether that kind of discussion will go on, but again, there's a silver lining that is existing within that. What is that? Means India is a country of youth today. Average population of our own nation is estimated to be 28%. Yeah, 28% means 20. The average age is 28 of this nation. Nation's population is average age is 28. And if you see the different categories of the population, so the majority of the population falls into the category of the age group of 15 to 35. Means 66%, two-thirds of the population belongs to the category of the youth, means from 15 to 35. And hence it is called India is a demographic dividend country. And we have seen that in many Asian countries, or the Asian, which is called as the Asian tigers, they have taken the benefit. They took the benefits of their demographic dividend when they had this kind of opportunity. So it is the opportunity which has been come to our own country, that India is a demographic country. It is passing through the stage of demographic dividend. If and what, how it could be reaped the benefits. So only it could be reaped in order to make our education system robust one, a stronger one. Means it will be able to provide the education to the youths, and provide or also to provide the training and the skills, training and education at the same time, health as well. So by making the education system stronger, and to and for providing the access to majority of the population, hence it is said that let us take the target of making the education of the 50% of the relevant age group of our own nation. If we are going to do this, definitely it will be in the right direction. It will be in the stage of that one, that when we will be able to convert, means human capital, when this young population will be converted by providing education, skills, and what we call it training. I think it will become the big assets, in the sense that the human capital or the human resource. So right now, this young population has a lot of potential. If we will be able to convert this population with the human capital or the human resource, it will become the big assets for the growth and the development of the nation. Here, the role of the teachers steps in, and we need to play our very role by converting this youth population into the human capital. I am giving you one example. I think you must get to know that India has replaced China in terms of the receipt of the remittances. Means our diaspora, our international migration is contributing immensely for the growth for the rise of what we call it the remittances. So remittances are coming in a big way, and now we are celebrating and saying that India has received 125 billion US dollars of the latest report provided by the World Bank, replacing China, leaving China far behind. In case of China, it is only estimated to be 64%, 64 billion US dollars. But in the case of India, it is just double, means 125 billion. And it's a point of celebration that this money, these remittances, yeah, we all understand the importance of the remittances or the inflow of the remittances. This is all happening on account of the human capital or the human resource to which we have supplied to different parts of the world, especially to the West Asian countries. And their number is estimated to be 9 million, means 90 lakhs or approximately 1 crore Indians are working in that region. So this is the data provided by the Ministry of Education. So again, we need to work in this direction so that we will be able to provide the employment to the majority of the youths by getting a lot of education, rightful kind of education, training, and the skills. So here there is a ministry which has been established that is called Ministry of Entrepreneurship and the Skill Development. So I think a skill development is one of the very important issues that must have been discussed over here. So as a strategy, as making our higher education system stronger, I think this is all going to be realized in a very positive way. After giving this kind of background, you give me a minute so that I could open my slide, and this slide I will discuss with you one by one. Just for a minute, please. Yes. Is it okay?
Yes, sir, visible. Make it full screen.
I'm making it. I'm making it. No worry. Just a minute, please. This is okay, I guess.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Fine?
Okay. Yes, fine, fine.
Okay. Why it is coming, leaving meeting? Okay. This is fine, I guess.
Okay, sir.
Higher education, okay. Yes, let me now discuss with you all this. So here we need to highlight and understand the importance. We all know that education is the most powerful weapon or the tool or the engine for the development, and that can never be taken away from anyone. So which you can use to change the world, to change the society. So here my point of discussion is to share with you that we can change India. We can change our Indian society if we are going to educate our Indians. And today we all know what is the literacy rate, and you understand the meaning of literacy rate and all that. But we need to make our youth, which would be called as the human capital or the human resource, by providing rightful kind of education. Means I think if you see the I think the educational report which has been submitted by the committee which has been constituted from time to time. So there's a remark which has been made that there's a big mismatch between the education, means academia or the core curriculum, on the other and the industry. So there should be a strong linkages that would have been established between the two. So we need to, academia means we need to understand the purpose of education, means what we call it, what kind of requirement is there in the labor market, what kind of skills would be required on the part of the industry. We need to understand. According to that, we need to make our syllabus. So here, only 3 sentences. The beautiful thing about learning means education is that no one can take it away. If I am educated, if you are educated, someone is educated, I think it cannot be taken away. I think it cannot be. So it is the very why, just to highlight the importance and significance of education. We know that even in our life, we see that somebody has become very rich. And in his old age, he becomes the poor also. But this kind of situation doesn't happen in case of education. So we as a family, I think family or as a nation, as a community, as an academic community, why we give we get a lot of respect, because we are considered to be the mind, and we are, as it is said, that the destiny of any society is created in the classroom. Means we are supposed to be the destiny maker. So we get a lot of respect. So education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace and stability. I think education, the role of education is really very, very important. See what is the status of education or the educated people in the developed society. We know that. I think they are placed at the highest rank. So that is very, very important, and we need to discuss. So let us now proceed. What is basically the philosophy and the mission of higher education? This is very important because it is going to happen. It is happening in the domain of higher education academic institution. So basically, higher education is based on 4 very important what we call as we can say the elements or the pillars. These are the 4 pillars, I think, of society, let me tell you. Knowledge enhancement, and it happens in the university and the college. So what do? We transact the knowledge, but why do we transact the knowledge? Because we create the knowledge. Knowledge is created in the university and the college with the help of research, as we all know. Seeking truth. To seek truth is one of the other pillars. We challenge everything. We see everything from the very critical point of view. So to promote critical thinking and concerning culture, civilization. So these are the 4 very important pillars that must be taken into account, that must be taken into our mind. And then what is the role of higher education in the societies? Basically, we try to understand the complexities, challenges in the society. So we all know that change is permanent. As he say that only thing that is permanent is the change. Otherwise, rest of the thing is subsidiary. So the first issues to which we all are going to address is the changing scenario, changing world, changing society. And I'm giving one example that we have had the national education policy, first national education policy, which was enacted before 68, and 1968 it was implemented. So what was the need of coming with the second policy, next policy that again got implemented or came into being in 1986? Because the things are changing very rapidly. Today, I think every day it is going to be changed like the same. And again in 2020, we have had the other national education policy. In order to meet the challenges or the contemporary challenges which has been created on account of the changes, as we say that before 70, I think 90s, not much change was there. So in 1991, our economic activities, everything started liberalizing. So LPG was the buzzword, LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. See the outcome of that one today. So everything, why, if you see the national education policy, right now it is running into only 64 pages. So it has been made very concise, and it is made dynamic also. It is not rigid in that sense. And the whole education system has been restructured. Why it has been made so that now this has been done in order to meet all the challenges, in order to give the possible solution of all the changes. And the second one is three purposes of education, aims and objectives of education. Third one, we will discuss what is the key roles. Many roles already we have discussed, but the only 5 key roles we are going to highlight about the higher education. Changing society as a changing world. We all know that society is changing very rapidly, no doubt. And this is all happening on account of globalization. So what happened? So we would have never thought that this kind of situation is going to be there. See, and this is happening. So in today's world, I think there is a rise of international trade and the finance, transfer of digital technology, human mobility, role of media. We all are watching, we all are witnessing. So why I am discussing? We as an intellectual, we as an academician, we as a researcher, we as a teacher uh, can understand all these dynamics, all these changes, so that we will be able to give the possible solution or meet the complexities. See what is mobility. Human mobility is like means it is the area to which I have been working for the last 25 years. Means mobility. When I said that India has still maintaining or has got the first position in terms of the sending our human capital, our human resource, our labor to different parts of the world. But at the same time, I think we are not alone. There's a stiff competition going on between South Asian countries or Southeast Asian countries. So there's a stiff how to compete in the labor market, how to compete in the society. We as a teacher need to understand. We as a teacher need to give the possible solution and what kind of policy would be there so that we could be able to maintain what kind of labor migration or the immigration policy would be there. We as a expert on the human relations or international relations, we need to give our own perspective. Then we can meet, then we will be able to compete in the global market and see the role being played by the media. That is again very important. So what basically I am interested to talk to you that how we are going to meet the changing scenario. So here it is said that yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yesterday means past, and then today is the present, and tomorrow is definitely the future. So whatever it was relevant in the past or yesterday, the same thing is not going to be today and tomorrow. So we need to see, and we need to be adaptable. We need to change our mind, our intellect, our everything. Then see the situation. I think when radio was invented, so there was a lot of hue and cry. Again, computer, again, there was a lot of hue and cry that it is going to create the problem in terms of the employment or the labor. And see in this today scenario, I think again, artificial intelligence. These all are the technology which is coming in a very big way. So how we are going to adapt all this technology for the benefit of the society is again very, very important. So here, what basically how we are going to reap the benefits of the globalization. The globalization is still going on. So free flow of goods, services, technology. So we need to benefit. So we need to understand our past at the same time, whatever the best practices are happening anywhere, we need to adapt. I think when I was being introduced by one of our friend, that LEAP program was the very flagship program initiated by the government of India, of course. And we realize that our academic institutions are not headed by a very visionary kind of personality like Vice Chancellor and the director. So how to give the exposure to these people, the senior the persons or the professors, so that if they get the opportunity, if they were given the responsibility to head the institution, they could lead the institutions in the right direction. They could compete. They could have the exposure not only of Indian situation, but they should also know pretty well about the other developed nation. So we took, and there was a provision in that LEAP program was that the participants would be taken to some of the best international ranked higher education of the world. So Jamia also organized. I was the coordinator. So I took them to the University of Virginia. Why? So that they could have a look, they could have the exposure. If they come back to India and if they get, government of India would give the opportunity and the responsibility to head as a vice chancellor, the director of some of the eminent institutions in our own country, they would take these institutions into the right direction. So this is all happening, and outcome of this what we call a globalized era. So now we are working in the globalized village or the global village, and we cannot think as here. I would like to tell you that at the turn of the century, what happens? So all countries of the world, those who are the member, those all are the member of the UN, and they united there and they passed the, they took the place that we will eradicate poverty. Means all countries of the world took the place in the rubric of Millennium Development Goals. You must have heard in 2002, 2000 to 2015. I think 8 goals were fixed in order to eradicate poverty and gender inequality and what we call it sustainable development goal, like what we call it climate change. So many global challenges. So today, if you see any problem, take the example of poverty. It's not only a localized one. It can have a global ramification. So this is very important to understand all these things. So whatever we are going to teach, whatever we are going to impart the training to our young minds, I think it has the global ramification, it has the global implications. And today we, as it is said that this policy has the potential, means national education policy has the potential to create the global citizen. Means our product, means our students would be so they would be very efficient in such a way that they could compete in the global labor market. So what is basically the purposes of higher education? We all know that what are the purposes is to create the human mind who can have the brain. So the role being played by institutions in the society are to shape purpose. So for good reasons, national higher education systems reveal diverse institutions like a university, which is characterized by different missions and educational purposes. And we all know that your university, my university, someone university. So they have, why it is called a university? University means universe, not, it has nothing to do with the local. So the very nomenclature university, it is called Vishwa Vidyalaya or the Mahavidyalaya. So it has the larger picture that is very, very important. Higher education itself is a rich culture and scientific assets which enables personal development, and it also has the potential to promote economic, technological, and the social change. Social transformation, well, takes place on account of the development of economic activity, what we call the education. So social transformation, social change is only possible if we are going to develop our education system. Means this higher education system also promotes the exchange of the knowledge, research, innovation, and equips students with the skills needed to meet our changing labor markets. I think this is all possible, and we need to take all these issues into the mind while preparing the curriculum activities, and that is very important. So for vulnerable circumstances, I think, yes, if I am educated, I can survive and I can excel, and you can, or anybody. So for this matter, it is a passport to economic security and stable higher education. So that's why it is said that, again, debate is going on whether the education, higher education is going to be very expensive nowadays in our own country, whether that would be subsidized to a larger extent, or it should be considered as merit good. And if you see the, I think, University Grants Commission, so clearly it is said the education for all means higher education is also education. So here we should not compartmentalize. So as a whole, the purpose of education is for everybody. So gone are the days in the British Empire, British India, Macaulay, you must have heard about the Macaulay report. So it was said that the purpose of education at that time was only to create one class of barbers in the country. They would be able to serve the purpose of the British Empire at that time. But now the situation after getting independence, 46, 47, I think many report and many committee and commissions were constituted and lot change has taken place in our own education system. Still, it is going on. So we cannot say that this is the elite university or elite college. It is for everybody. And unless until we are going to educate to each and every person in our own country, I think there will be hurdles, there will be impediments in the process or in the way of development or to achieve the target of the developed countries. So the role of higher education that must be taken into account that these are the things that must be very important. So the role of higher education is to meet the challenges. So what are the challenges? Challenges can be seen at the local level and at the national level, at the continental level and the global level. So here it becomes very important. So it is the responsibility and the role of higher education to understand all these things. So what are the challenges? So we all know that economic growth and the development, and there's an ability, it creates ability to compete globally. And the job creation and reduction and elimination of unemployment. So it could be seen that that is the role. So here if we see what is the thing that is social justice, that is the function of the higher education to provide the social justice and also to democratize the society. So democracy, take the example, our system to which we have chosen at the time of India Democratic Republic state, we have had. And if you take democracy, again, democracy is a process. It's not an event. And again, debate is going on, and we can debate that whether our system and whatever we are having the democracy, where that is, some people say that it is in the infantile stage, and we say that the procedural democracy. So we need to do a lot to achieve the substantive democracy or the mature democracy. So education again is a very important role. I think you must agree with my view that democracy can only be possible, can only be successful, and can be made successful when the people of the nation or any nation would be fully educated. They are not only literate, they would be educated. So I think it would be only possible if we are going to increase the what we call it, the gross enrollment ratio. At the same time, we need to take the account of the inclusive education or inclusivity of the things. Means ours is a society which is divided or differentiated on many grounds, in the sense that take the example of gender is one of the very important dimensions. So we are different in terms of the gender. Male are dominant, female are relegated to the background. So what kind of policy we could have, what kind of approach we would be able to adopt, so that we will be able to create the society which would be gender-based society, or gender unbiased society, or gender inclusive society, gender sensitive society. Not only this, we also need to see again the other points. Again, that is also very important in the sense that ours is a country which is called as a country of villages. Majority of the people lives in the rural areas. And if you see this 26, 27% gross enrollment ratio, I think the children of ours are only included in that one. What happens to the people who are living in the rural areas? They are not able to send their children on account of their own poverty. And majority of the educational institutions to which we are saying that it has gone up to 1,200 universities, including the private universities are available. They all are located in the urban areas. So they,
तो पढ़िएगा फिर फालतू डाल दीजिए
yeah, एक
आपकी क्या नाम तक लिया है
yeah, एक just a second please. ये गया था आगे.
नहीं
हाँ.
मैंने वो लेटर जो यहाँ से गया था
हम्म.
उसकी कॉपी भेज दिया हुआ आपको आपका साइड का तो मजबूत का तो 3 नाम लिया था
ये आया किसका?
जैसा मुझे
कैसे आ गया?
ये हो गया ना कैसे है वहाँ से आया मैंने आपको लेटर भेज दिया व्हाट्सएप से
इसको देखेंगे बाद में बात करेंगे. Yes, sorry, I'm sorry, just a second. Just a second, please. So what basically I was discussing, some sort of urgent work was there. So creating vibrant, yes. So democratization of a state and society, building up a culture of human rights. Again, the ensuring the rights of the human being is also very. So how to create the culture of the human rights in the society is also the function, is also the role of the what we call it, that creating a vibrant civil society, promoting culture of vigorous and critical intellectual debate. These all are very, very important, that must be cultivated, that must be taken care by this higher education. And then it is also interesting to know the higher education must also be guided and by embodied specific principles and the values. What are the principles that are to be taken into account by higher education? Equity and the quality, not only in higher education, but also in the society and social. We all the time say that a social economic development. So not only economic development, social development is very, very important. I think we all know that how we say that the per capita income is going to increase, growth is going to increase. So that would be the part of the economic development. So unless until we take the gender, unless until we leave the social equity into the account, or the social aspect into that, I think this is again very, very important one. Democratization. Already I have academic freedom. Unless until the society is having the freedom, institutional autonomy, effectiveness, efficiency, and what is called public accountability. These all are the values that must be cherished. That all are the principles and the values. And higher education is going to reinforce. And if these all things are going to happen, when initially and ultimately I talk to you the peace. So what is the purpose, ultimate aim of life, or the ultimate of or the purpose of society? To create peace. And in this century, it is irony that even the people are fighting, and there is a war going on. Two wars are going on. And we compare, we claim that we are living in 21st century. We are the most civilized nation. We are the most civilized society. So these are the plot. These are the things I think that must be that must worry to all of us. And then higher education must cultivate the knowledge, competency, and skills amongst the students. I think again that is very important. And there is a need for extensive restructuring of qualification and program to make curricular more congruent with the knowledge, expertise, and skills needs of a changing society, changing economy. The higher education has an intrinsic significance. And then these are the 5 key roles we need to focus on. That is cultivation of highly educated people. Means I have told you that we have a lot of population, youth population. So this is the function of higher education institution in our own country to cultivate or to convert these youth into the educated human capital. And research and the scholarship, engagement with the intellectual and the cultural life of the society, and then democracy and citizenship, and development needs and the challenges. So these are the five key roles that must be played by higher educational institution, means as how to convert this young mind into the human capital, human resource. And again, we all know that where do we stand in terms of the research and the scholarship. So there's a crisis, there's a shortage of that one. How we are going to do it is, of course, government has made an effort and is making effort to establish the institution, to establish the funding bodies also. So like University Grants Commission and some of the ministries, and then ICSSR, ICHR, many bodies are there. But in addition to that, NRF is going to be established. I think Parliament has already passed that bill. So it would take a little bit some time, but it is going to be established. Why? Because it has been realized that research is not being done, research activity is not undertaken as it is required by the society, by our own country. So these things are going to be happen, no doubt about that. So after giving this kind of background, let us now talk about the Indian situation. What is basically the higher education in our own country is doing. In India, there is a profound impact of globalization on higher education. That is the sector. So we all know that the Indian higher education institutions are. And let me tell you, where do we stand in terms? As I said, that it is the third largest system in the world. But if you see the scenario and the journey of higher education development in our own country, at the time of independence in the 50s, the size of the university was very less, very few. It was only 28 or 20 or 28 universities were existed. And then if you see the journey of 75, 76 years, I think now it has grown into 1,200 university if you also add the private university. And then what we call it, the colleges, the number of colleges was estimated to be only 500 to 600 colleges. Now it has crossed 50,000 colleges and alone institutions that is estimated to be 12,000. So why I am saying, even these institutions are not good enough. And by catering or by performing these all institutions, we have achieved the target or the what we call it only 25 to 26% gross enrollment ratio. So we need many more academic institutions and more faculty also. Then we will be able to meet the requirements of our own nation, and we will be able to convert these young minds or young population into the human capital. Once we do it, definitely it is going to shine, it is going to help in order to realize the great dream of the Viksit Bharat or the developed nation. So here we need to do a lot. And so what we can do in terms of because when we discuss the higher education, we need to see many stakeholders. Means we are, of course, one of the very important one, that is called academic staff. But at the same time, many more other bodies are there, like top level management, administrative staff, middle level functionaries. So we need to develop each and every one. Only we, the teachers, are not good enough. I think we need to see all these stakeholders, even the support staff. Then we can bring excellence, we can bring quality in the sector of higher education. And once we will be able to bring quality, it will function properly and it will cater the needs of our own requirement. And at the same time, we need to increase the number also. So here India further integrates into the global economy, like skills, knowledge required by workforce have undergone a significant change. Of course, that is going. Globalization has also underscored the importance of cross-cultural communication adaptability, and the critical thinking. I think again, this is very, very important that must be taken into account. So what basically, I think I am sure that I should discuss with you by 1, and 30 minutes will be given for you to come up your own question. Then I think it will, as the requirement of this nation, as the requirement of this kind of discussion is also, it should be a two-way process. So can I stop you here? Can I stop and then let's have the question answer, or I shall continue and then I should give half an hour at the end of the deliberation? What kind of requirement you propose?
I think, sir, you can continue, sir. No issue.
I should continue till 1 or 1 and then half an hour is good enough for your questions, observation? Or
think-
I should continue till 1:30?
You can continue. No issue if it is possible for you.
No, it is very much possible for me, but I think that is also very much required that you should ask some questions and then I should reply, because the mandate of this platform is to be bilateral, means multilateral, bilateral. So I don't have any problem. Many slides are there I could show, and but this is very important. But you tell me, I think if because listening is also a very strenuous work. So you ask the question and then I will toss it for them. Otherwise, if you have any question relating to higher education, potential of higher education, demographic dividend, and what is happening in our own country, and then we will toss it further. Then we'll take up the situation. Already I have discussed a lot about how it is going to democratize our society, how a citizenship is going to be strengthened, and of course, inequality, gender inequality, even social inequality. These all issues, these all are the challenges. So I have given my own perspective, and now I have come to the point of the Indian situation. So if you have any question, I will be very happy to take up your question, and then we'll proceed further.
Can you please throw some light on as far as the youth empowerment
Sorry?
situation of the India today, as such today's India, as far as youth empowerment is concerned?
Use of empowerment.
Youth empowerment, youth.
Youth empowerment. Yes. I think when it would have been discussed by some of the scholars, by the skill development, it must have been discussed. But since you have asked me, so I will definitely throw light on that. Many schemes have been launched by Government of India in order to youth empowerment, and it is very much related to demographic dividend, because now government is trying hard to reap the benefits of the youth, because this kind of situation, this youth is not going to remain youth for all times to come. I think they will, after 30 years down the line, same youth would become the part of the old age. So this demographic dividend is going to continue only till what we call it as 2055. Thereafter, the same pocket of population will fall into the category of the other one. And so demographic dividend is going to be over. So we need to grab the opportunities. Many schemes, many programs have been launched by Government of India. And there's a ministry that is Ministry of Youth and Entrepreneurship. If we see the site of that one, many schemes and the programs have been launched in order to convert the youth into the what we call a relevant youth, or the educated youth, or the skillful youth. So many schemes have been given. We cannot deny this fact. But what I would like to share with you, that we as a teacher, what we need to do. I think if you see this national education policy, lot of scope is there. And here, the purpose of this kind of debate and discussion is to discuss all these issues so that we can sensitize ourselves. Once we are sensitized, definitely we are going to impart the education, rightful kind of education to the youth. Means youth empowerment is nothing. I think in this globalized era or in this era, I think those who are educated, those who have the skill are powerful. So knowledge is power. And once we have the knowledge, means we are powerful. So what basically we need to do on the part of government, on the part of policymakers, on the part of the teachers, on the part of everybody, we need to play our very crucial role so that these youth could be converted into the human capital or the human resource or the skill youth. Once they have the skill, and again there's a catch, means what kind of skills, that traditional skills or the modern skills or right kind of skills. So we need to study, we need to make a research. See, the change is also taking place in the global market. So we need to understand what will happen after 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. As pandemic has devastated the entire world, we all know pretty well. But what would be the scenario or what would be the requirement of the post-global scenario, post-global, I think, pandemic? We need to understand because it has devastated, it has brought a lot radical change, let me tell you, to the global society or to the global market. So we as a nation, let me tell you, the one sector means we as a teacher, we need to understand. So there's a need on the part of the teachers, there's a need on the part of everybody to make a research in this area so that we can produce the employable youths. As it is said that we are producing, and there's an allegation that we are producing unemployable youths. So now, what kind of curriculum would be there so that they could be empowered? Yeah. Once we all know that what is the intensity and gravity of unemployment. We all know pretty well that. So this is very, very important to understand. And then, of course, five. Oh, yeah. So how preparing our students for the globalized economy? I think if you see this issue, again, Indian higher education institutions are responsible. Is there any other question, please? Yes. So we as a teacher need to see the requirement of the labor market. Of course, government has launched so many schemes and the policies. Now it is the turn of the teachers' life because we are considered to be 15 lakhs and we need to play. Means we need to give the rightful kind of education and youth employment. Once we will make them employable, means they will be powerful. So empowerment of education, empowerment of the youth would also come from our side. So here we must discuss what kind of role we are going to play. And government has already, policy makers have done their job. Even government is also trying, and many programs and the policies have been initiated or has been launched by government, no doubt. So how to sensitize, how to make them aware of all these schemes? It is the responsibility of the teacher. It is the responsibility of the academia to work in this direction. Definitely, we will do a lot of things. Yes, please. Anything more, please?
No, sir. Please proceed. Thank you.
Okay. So I think later on, I think we will open for the debate and discussion. So just have a look. Holistic curriculum development, emphasis on soft skill, entrepreneurial learning, and then global exposure, lifelong learning. Means if you see these 5-6 points, I think very important. And this task is for all of us. Means how to create the holistic curriculum development. When we say that holistic, as you all know, multidisciplinary and the holistic education, means our education system, our curriculum should serve the purpose of the students who would be employable, who would compete even in the global market. So we need to formulate our curriculum activities or the course, taking all the challenges, taking all the issues, not around the local one, only national, local, regional, even the global. So how it can be done? Again, it could be done only with every Yeah. Yes, please. So I think this is only possible if every stakeholder, like the top level management, middle level functionally like deans, heads, directors, and of course as a faculty and then support staff, they all work jointly, they all work unitedly. Then I think this kind of curriculum framework would come into the picture. And here again, second point, there should be emphasis on the soft skills. We have the degree of BSc in physics. We have the degree of engineering in civil engineering, communication, or something like that. But I think that is the hard skills. So now in this scenario, soft skills has become the need of the day, unless until we are going to provide our students to the soft skills. And what is that? How to lead the life, leadership, communication. So like this, soft power. So these all, I think, is kind of a skills has become the need of the day. So we as a teacher, we as a faculty, we as a supervisor, we as a researcher need to give this kind of training so that many times communication skills program is being organized, or training is being organized to develop the communication skills, soft skills. So today it is the scenario, it is the requirement of the time that we need to discuss the soft skills. Experiential learning. See our own situation today. I think take the example, gone are the days. I think this kind of provision was now experiential learning becomes very important today. I think earning while learning. We all know earning while learning at the same time. I think there is a provision which has been made in our national education policy that take the example now the graduation has become 4 years today. And after completion of 1 year, a candidate can leave it out and he can go for his own choice. And after some time, he or she can join and he would be given. Gone are the days it was not there. If you opt out, if you leave, I think you would not be given the certificate. You would not be given any kind of certificate, any kind of so there's a landmark after completion of 1 year, second year, third year, and the fourth year. So it is dynamic. It has been made dynamic so that somebody has the problem. Somebody is willing to leave after a year, he would be given certificate. Okay. After completion of 2 years, he would be given what we call it the diploma, and degree would begin of completion and research with degree with research after completion of 4 years. So this kind of provision is there, and you or our students, our coming generation can go and complete the education, graduation. So there is a, I think, a milestone has been fixed, and it is good. It's a healthy sign. So today, I think, and sometimes previously, this kind of situation was not. So preparing students for the globalized economy and the society, as it is clearly said, if you go through this national education policy, I think there's a lot of emphasis which has been given that how, because now we are talking global economy, global society, global village, so many things are, because it is interconnected, and you know that there's a flow of goods, services, technology, and even culture. So we are moving towards the universal culture and global culture. So in many university has introduced the department, some of the courses. Even in my university, I think I have introduced one course that is called, West Asia in Global Economy. West Asia in global politics. So I think like that, I think this kind of how we are going to connect integration of your own country, of your own society, of your own local situation with the globe. It has become very important. And experience after the global exposure. Already I have cited you, I have given you that what is happening in the University of Cambridge, what is happening in the University of Stanford, what is happening elsewhere. We need to see And in order to make our university a better one, I think we can use our wisdom for this kind of thing. And as we all know, from cradle to grave, I think learning goes till our life ends. So again, when we are born, and the day we are born, and the day we meet the death, I think learning activity should go on. So lifelong learning. See, one of my one of my batchmate, when we were doing our PhD, he left out and he joined the civil services. Now he is retired and he is coming to do his PhD, to complete his PhD. So after 60 or 65, he is coming to do his PhD. So learning has no end. So that is very important. So I think whatever it was happening in the past, I think same thing is not going to happen right now. I think again, this is very important. So there's a need today, there's a need for training of the academic staff. So for that matter, in the gone are the days, I think this kind of situation was not there. So due to on account of globalization, there's a rapid change in higher education. So knowledge is doubling or it is multiplying like anything. So unless until we have this kind of exposure as NEP orientation and sensitization, and it is also that it is known by different names. That what we say that in the past, I think we did not have this MMTTC was not existing, but now it is there, and it is the requirement of the time that we all have a simple here, and we are exchanging our ideas. So we are learning a great deal. So training and the professional development of each staff, each category of the staff. The staff means we as a faculty, the others are as the administrative staff, the other one is a top level. So there's a provision in our own system that even the vice chancellors are being trained today. And why? In order to improve the quality, I think that this is very important to do this. So skills of the staff need to be continually strengthened to be changed like that. So what kind of a strategy would be there for this purpose? So it could be made at the national, provincial, or the institutional level. Means all institutions must consider all its staff, whether academic, administrative, and support personnel for the training, because there are equally rapid change in the management processes, techniques, and technology which are to be learned by administrative staff. So basically, what my argument is that in this era, in order to update our knowledge, in order to see what kind of things are happening in the system, and the technology, I think we need to update our knowledge. And taking that esprit cue into the mind, I think every teacher has been asked or they're requested to go under this kind of training. And there's a module which has been created that is called the theme of 8 themes. So I think I'm sure that if you assess after today, you will reach the conclusion, you will reach the point that yes, training gives a lot of exposure. Training gives a lot of passion. Training gives a lot of motivation, inspiration. And once we are inspired, definitely we are going to do to bring a wonders. So that is very. I think that should not be denied. Them would miss the opportunity. It means I think many and see in 1986, the last national education policy, 45 academic staff colleges were established. That was the outcome of that. If you see, sometime before it was 67, it rose to 67. Now it has been risen to 127 MMTTCs there. Nomenclature has been changed, number has also increased, and the function has also been added. So many more functions and the responsive, seeing the vitality, seeing the requirement of all that. So why I'm saying that in order to make a society which would be a better society, developed society, progressive society, I think education and especially the role of higher education becomes very pertinent. And we need to take, I think this is another matter that we have never been given much importance, but now we have started giving importance. because education, higher education plays a very crucial role in order to take up the society at the higher level. Research and development takes place in the domain of higher education. So already I have discussed, so I will not repeat all these things. So there's a growth in demand for higher education. So it is one of the challenges we must discuss, we must get to know. There's a growth in demand for higher education. We cannot say that. I think 28 universities now, these are the things. So if you see, only few universities are located in rural areas. As I said that we need to cater the demand of the rural people also. So here all these facts have been given and 15 lakhs teachers are there. So as again, we need to discuss, because when we discuss the challenges, financial shortage and construction. So many times we have been saying that there's a shortage of demands to fund for higher education. And if you see here, I would like to bring to your kind notice that when the first national policy enacted in 1968, many recommendations were made and it was also implemented. These were also implemented. But one thing again, I would like to share with you that it was said that 6% of the GDP would be spent for education as a whole. And then 6% means public expenditure was to be made. But it didn't happen. And then in 1986, again, it was reiterated that 6% of the GDP would be there. I think, again, there's a problem. And if you see today, in 2020, again 6% has been repeated. But the irony is that we are not spending that much. Means it is hardly 2.5 or 2.6% we are spending. If you see the latest budget, I think it is only 2.5. Last year budget, I think it was 2.9. So we are not meeting. So what are the reasons? What are the causes? Why we are not spending? Why we are not giving much importance to education and the health? These are the two sectors which are very, very crucial for the growth of any country, for the development of any country. If you see the scenario of the developed countries, I think gross enrollment ratio is definitely, I have shared with you. And if you see the situation of the South Korea, which is the developed nation, I think 8% gross GDP is for education. And I think it has gone, the gross enrollment ratio has gone up to 20, I think 94 or 95% gross enrollment ratio. Why I am saying, so that this is all comparative. And that is again very important. And lot of expectation is from the academic staff, to which you all belong. There is an ability to handle a growing proportion of the students and the diversity. So we are facing in the class, means due to on account of diversity, but we need to become rather smarter and apt as how to overcome the diversity. Diversity is not a challenge that must be celebrated. But again, it is a challenge for the students, for the teachers. And of course, if we are motivated and if we feel our responsibility, definitely we are going to do a lot of things in this direction. So the academic staff can still set up skills on their graduates so that societal needs are fully met. Faculty should be outward looking and sensitive to the needs of the society. Means we as a teacher needs to become empathetic. We need to understand the psychology of the students. We need to understand, unless until we become empathetic. Means empathy is a very important ingredient or is a very important element that should be cultivated amongst the personality of a teacher. And we are doing it, no doubt, but there's a need to cultivate more and more. And then we will be able to have these kind of things in the better way. They should have technical competencies. And of course, we need to have develop research capacity, pedagogy, and technical capacity in order to overcome this. And then, as already I have discussed, these are the broad two challenges, means quality. And what was basically perturbed that the process of higher education has become dysfunctional, producing several unemployable youths, as it was said. So I think if you see the scenario, that is still continuing. So we need to overcome, means we need to make our system so robust, so up to date, so that we could face the contemporary challenges. Means we need to improve in terms of the quality, in terms of the quantity, means quality and quantity, both the ways we are going to, in the name of quality, we cannot stop quality. I think quality and quantity should go together, means we need to deal with the gross enrollment ratio, increase our, and at the same time, this how to create the excellence, how to bring the excellence is again important. And that one, and to equity, social equity has to be taken into account, and how we can have the access across the social category, means social category means gender, and then other socially disadvantaged sections of the society. So education must be taken into account all these considerations. And then the other point to which I would like to bring to your kind, technological change affects all disciplines. So today we are saying that staff must be alert to the latest innovation in terms of the teaching methods and the research support. I think today that has become very, very important. Technological change affects all disciplines. So we need to use all the technology for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the students. So how we are going to use and what we are doing it, and taking these kind of spirit into the mind, this kind of orientation program or sensitization program or the faculty induction program, and many kinds of programs have been initiated by the Government of India through the University Grants Commission. And it is reaching out to all the faculty across the discipline, across the Indian states, and we all are the beneficiary of that one. So I think we must take the advantage of all this, and then we will be able to meet the challenges to which our society is playing. So this is again the other one. And then already I have discussed with you that there is a need to improve women's participation. I think it is one of the very important challenge and the issues that must be. So we need, how we are going to convert the class that would be gender sensitive or gender balance. So this is again very important because they represent 50%. So here we need to take the policy, take the approach in such a way that adequately they would become representing. As we all know, Panchayati Raj, I think we have made it, and to a certain extent, it has made a success. But at the top level position, if you see today, even the situation is not very, very favorable. I think why I am saying that youth empowerment, when we talk of the women youth or the male youth, both should be taken into account. And we all know that challenges are being faced by both the genders are definitely different. So that would be reflected in our policies. That would be reflected in our policy. Then we will capture the real kind of situation. Like that, whatever the policy is, it is made for one state is not going to be the same for another, because situation is, we have the geographical differences and all that. See the case of Northeast. So we need to develop the Northeast, and for that we need very separate kind of policies, and then we will be able to make justice of that one. In the same way, there is a need to come with the gender policy or gender auditing. I think that has become the need of the day. So why I am discussing this, all must be taken into our approach, into our research activities, and ask or request our students so that they could pick up all these unexplored area, or so that that could have the policy implications. Okay, and then changing demands of the labor market. Again, I'm just reiterating that how it is again important. Changing demands of the labor, this is a response to national or the regional demands. And patterns of employment are also changing. Means patterns of employment are, there's a need to change the course content accordingly. All these changes require increasing adaptability amongst the academic staff. So we resist to change. Sometimes when this semester system was introduced, when this policy came implemented, so not much good response on the part of the teachers, like all of us. So we should welcome any kind of change that is going to decide the fate, that is going to decide the country, nation's fate is very, very important. So today, the things we all know that changes are taking place very rapidly. So we need to go by the changes. We need to follow the changes. And according to that, so it could be done at the regional level, it could be done at the national, at the local level. I think take the university. I think university, if you read the mission and vision of the university, that is very important. If it is going to be implemented in true sense of the term, definitely our country, our nation, our society is going to be benefited. And that has to be done by the top level management. And of course, you are one of the various stakeholders. We all are the stakeholders. But I think it is the responsibility of the governance. So how to bring governance or how to bring a better management in the university or the academic institutions matter a lot, because you all alone are not going to bring a change. So we need to understand the employment are changing, patterns, trends and the patterns of employment are changing. As we are celebrating that lot of remittances are coming to our own country, so it will not remain so. For consolidating our position, I think again it becomes very important that our workers started going to West Asia, especially to the Gulf countries, on account of the oil boom. Because all of a sudden, these all countries or the Gulf countries became very rich on account of hike of the oil prices. So what they thought and they started to do to diversify its economic activity, to industrialize their own economy. And there was a need of manpower at that time. And we have had a lot of surplus, let me tell you, surplus human resources. So our Indians started going to that region in 70s. But patterns of employment are changing or have changed. So the requirement to which we have had in the 70s are not anymore. I think now the patterns are changing. So we often say that when we talk of the Gulf migration, only unskilled driver, carpenter, bartender is the, but now that is over. Now the banking sector or many manufacturing sectors have come in the big way. So they need IT professionals, they need professors, they need other kind of skilled persons. So here again, we need to change see our patterns, what kind of requirement. According to that, we need to provide the skills. And there's a competition over there also. So we have had the competition with the other South Asian countries. So we need to see. Then we will remain in the market. Then our inflow of remittances will remain so. To which we all are wanting, to which we all are willing to to have that one. So for that matter, and there's a need to change the course content accordingly. Course either for that one and seeing the requirement of elsewhere also. And sometimes we say that what we call it, there is no anymore, because the nationalization policies have been started by these respective governments and the states. But if we have the human capital, if we have the human resource, I think we can survive, we can send or we can supply to other. Because if you see the theory of economic theory. I think where there is a demand, there will be supply. So we have supply. If we have the potential to supply, I think it will be good enough. So my debate and discuss, and here again, I would like to share with you that why our higher education should be excellent one. Why there should be, we should bring the excellence in higher education. Today, I think I have just read recently that 13 lakhs Indians have gone in 2024 to different parts of the world, especially to Germany and other North American universities for acquiring education. So we are happy that we are getting a lot of remittances, inflow of remittances are taking place. But on the other hand, we are losing the remittances because our Indian students are going to acquire education. And $6 billion we have lost on account of that one. So if we provide, if we will be able to contain these Indians or the Indian students who have aspired, those who are aspiring to go, why do they go? We need to understand the side. If they get the education to which they wish in India, they will never go. So we cannot stop them. But rather, we must ensure the quality in our own education system so that they could acquire education at the cheap rate. If they will get the education at the cheaper rate, they will definitely go. So we need to see how to contain, and it could be only done by the policy intervention, and how policy could be enacted. The feedback and the recommendations need to be made on the part of all of us. Then I think this could be made possible. Okay, so here there's a new demand for management skills in the industry. Effective management skills has become the need. Traditional skills will not be effective. So we need to bring a lot of transformation in the system of education. Of course, this national policy has all these provisions. And of course, I think in order to bring motivation, if you see the six pay commission, it was good. Even then, if you consider what we call it, the MNCs, again, this is nothing. So we need to make our academic system or the academic pursuit in a challenging one and better one. I think then we will be able to begin. And giving these kind of issues, here again, these are the points that must be discussed over here. Is again very inadequate infrastructure facilities. What are the issues of inadequacies to which our higher education is facing? Inadequate, if you see the university or the colleges, what kind of shape they are having today? This is the common knowledge. There is a shortage of faculty. Faculty crunch has become the big challenge. Low enrollment ratios, how to increase the low enrollment, how to make the good enrollment ratio, and this is overcrowded. Gender and ethnic balances are there, low base of research. So low base, if you see all these are the problem to which of course, not only this one, but according to my understanding, I think major problems to which our higher education system is facing is this one. And this could be dealt with the help of the top level management, state and everything. As I said that we need to do, if the recommendation has been made to 6%, I think that must be honored, that must be implemented in the true sense of the term. I think then we will be able to ensure quality in the domain of higher education. There's no doubt about that. So how, as we all know that overcrowded classroom. I think there's a study which has been made by many people that what we call it that 1:25 or at most 30 ratio would be there. See, this is we are conducting this program online. So there's a provision of having more than 40 candidates. But had it been offline, so maximum number was given to 40 only candidates. So here only 30 to 40, I think, and you all, I think many of you must have been facing that sometimes you need to address more than 50, 60, 70 students one at a time. So quality is going to be compromised. So we compromise quality. So if we compromise quality, so there is a serious challenge, there is a serious problem. And of course, already I have highlighted and I have flagged you that gender and ethnic violences means if you see the case of our own nation, so many we have been federal kind of a structure is also federal unitary, both the things are there. So if you see the South India and then the North India, like the Bihar, Odisha, and West Bengal, I think the problem is very problematic. If you take the North, South, Northeast, again, there's a problem in the sense that they are neglected on many counts. So how we can take all these issues into one so that we will be able to create the infrastructure, we'll be able to create the viable kind of things. So issues of inadequacy must be dealt with by the top level management, by the state, by all of us, so that we can move in the direction of excellence. So excellence, unless until we bring excellence, I think we will not be able to match, we will not be able to compete with the global standard of the global standard universities. And we will lose our students. The students will keep going to different parts of the world, different other universities. So we need to. So my purpose was to highlight so that you can elaborate. All these points needs elaboration. All these points needs further investigation, further study, scientific study with your research, with your research project. I think this is again very important to come with that idea. And then where do we stand? I think again, this is very important. What is the status of research in our own country? Where do we stand? So already we have, we get to know that the total population in our own country is estimated to be 1.4 billion. Today, 1.4, our number is rising like anything. And if you see, there were only, I think 260, if you see today, in 2020, 260 researchers per million population in our own country, according to the data. But so far as the case of research investment is concerned, it is 1.5 or 0.62% of the GDP we are spending on that. And what is happening in other developed countries? See the case of Europe. France spends 2.25% of its GDP on research, and the US spends 2.7%. And if you see the case of China, China invests 2.11% of the GDP. And if you see the ratio, population ratio over there, in case of these countries, US and France, it is 4,300 researchers per million population. In case of China, it is estimated to be 1,200 students population per million. And in case of 216, so far below. So where do we stand? And we are thinking that we need to match and we are going to excel. We are going to bring our society or bring up our society at par with that. So miles to go. And it's a good idea. I think it's a good move on the part of the government that NRF is going to be established, and it is expected that it will fund heavily or hugely to all the academic institutions in our own country, and we will be able to get a lot of funds for our expenditure. So already we have discussed that this is very, I think, important that 161,000 students were enrolled in the PhD in 2018. And if you see today, only 2 lakhs. So it is negligible in the 0.5% of the total students in the higher education in the country. And if you see the other countries, that is very, I think, good size. So this is the size of the total students who enrolled in the university, colleges, and institutes. They were pursuing undergraduate and the postgraduate. Policy makers have been long aware of the dismal picture. On account of that, if you see this national education policy, lot of reflections have been made as how to improve our condition is again very, very important. Okay, so here, in order to meet these challenges, so challenges are enormous. What we can do and what our society can do, what our policymakers can do, or what our state can do. So there's a need to be responsive and able to change in accordance with the changing policies of the government, external demands, and the societal needs. So we need to understand the societal needs. We have understood the societal needs and the external demands, and government has come with this national education policy. So now it is the responsibility of all of us to implement it in true sense of the term. So there is a greater awareness of international perspective in the content of the courses. So sometimes we get the opportunity to go to different parts of the world in the form of in the way of attending seminars, symposium, conferences, and all that. So we get a lot of exposure. After coming back from there, we must try to incorporate in our own system. The curriculum, the course curriculum must be updated, keeping the contemporary issues into the mind. So this is again very important, and there's a need for inter-institutional cooperation. So these all are the suggestions. If we are going to implement, means inter-institutional cooperation at the national level, at the regional level, means if you see this 1,200 university, 45,000 colleges, so there should be cooperation, there should be coordination, because there are some universities which are good enough in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the faculty, in terms of the human resource. So why don't we have the exchange? I think in a very deliberate manner, so that we are working for the growth and the development of nation as a whole. So there should be an awareness institutional role in national development and its contribution in local community and society again. So the purpose of this kind of program is to make us committed of all that. So there's a growing emphasis on quality of teaching as well as the research. That is a very important one. So what we as a teacher, what we all are supposed to do. So academic staff means we in the teaching role, what kind of competency we must contribute. Of course, we are competent, no doubt. But I'm just reiterating it. This is fine, I guess. So there should be an awareness, understanding a different ways in which students learn knowledge, skills, attitude, relating to assessment and evaluation of the students to help the students learn. That is again very, very important for all of us. So there should be commitment. I think integrity is very important. Academic integrity is very, very important. I'm sure that you all are listening to me. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought that you all have slept. So I think I will take 10, 15 minutes, and then I will definitely give you enough time. Yes, I think, thank you. Thank you. You have opened your video. So I will feel so great if some of you also opened your video. So academic staff in their teaching role. So two roles, of course, three roles are important. First one is teaching role. As a teaching, what we all are supposed to do. As a research, what we all are supposed to do. As a community, means we have the linkage between the two to provide the direct connections with the village community or the community. So commitment to a scholarship in the discipline, maintaining professional standards and knowledge of current development. So we need to have the current, of course, must have the knowledge, tremendous knowledge, and how we are going to create the awareness of IT application to the discipline. I think this is all very, very important. So we all are doing, but how to create the class which would be called as the what we call it the gender sensitive, and not only this, I think diversity in the class, and how we are going to address our students. Now it has been said that it would be the bilateral, but or what hybrid, but I think we are not going to omit the offline, but because it would have maximum impact on the minds of the students. So let us now proceed further, that academic staff in their research group. So just a second. Just a second. Yes, academic staff means the faculty in their research group. The following skills are required by all of us, means as how to write a good research proposal. So now NRF is going to fund us, and ICSR, many already existing bodies are funding us. So writing a good research proposal needs skills, and that will pass on, that has to be passed on to the students. Then I think networking and fundraising for the students, managing PhD students and the researcher, project manage, particularly relating to international partnership projects. So I think these must be taken into account by all the faculty like us. We can provide the opportunity, so that by having some academic event, so that students or the teachers would get enough time for networking, means as this platform is providing a good platform for all of us to have the networking. Academic networking is very important. Who is working on what area? I think we can get to know. Of course, this is online. Even then, this is possible to some extent. Had it been offline, I think it would have much more. And of course, many opportunities are there for funding also. So if we start searching within the country or outside the country, means I think we will be able to get the funds if we try. And of course, the students, sometimes 8 students, sometimes 6 students, we get it for undertaking PhD. I think that should be taken in the very rightful kind of a spirit. And project management has become the need of the day, international. So here, if you see the funding opportunity, I think it is also day by day increasing. National many funding agencies are there, like Ministry of Science and Technology, Biotechnology, and many, almost all ministries give the fund. In addition to that, for social sciences, Indian Council of Social Sciences, I have got the fund, and I'm going to organize the seminar on 18th, 19th November. And I'm also and I have already undertaken one project costing 20 lakhs, the impact of migration in 3 states, that has been funded by the ICSR, Ministry of Education. So same way you can do it, or anybody can. So it is being promoted on the part of the government that now there is a need to have the culture of research. We need to build up the culture of research, academic research, teaching research culture. So we need to cultivate the academic research in our own university and the colleges. So unless until we do it, I think we will not we will not provide the service to the nation. So this is again very important. And of course, making higher education competitive globally, again, has become as we all know that since the turn of the 21st century, I think we started, or since 90s, we started saying that only funding, only public universities are not adequate enough, good enough to cater the professional requirements of the society or the people. So there was entry was given to the private universities. So they have come in a big way. Now, in addition to that, it is regulation has been passed that even foreign universities are going to open their campus in India. So we need to compete. We as a faculty need to compete with the foreign university, which is going to be expected, which is going to establish very soon. So in order to compete our global education with the global standards, there's a need to take the following steps. Of course, there's no other way. We cannot turn down, but we need to do certain kind of regulating we need to have this regulating the entry of the foreign universities, setting quality standards, providing financial support for internationalization, and promoting international collaboration. I think these things must be taken into consideration. And then thereafter, we can think of the better society and better world. And so research, let me now, we are going to end. I will take five minutes more, and then it will be open for question. Research plays an important role in the economic development of a country like India. Without research, no country has developed. So is the case of our own nation. So research would play, and had played an important role in the social, economic development of our own. So it is playing, it can play. So how we are going to make the research robust or the strong? So already I have shown you where do we stand at the global level. Means in terms of the funding, very poor. In terms of everything, we are even population and the researcher ratio is also pathetic. So that is again very, very important. So what basically we number of constants, number of plagues, number of problems are there, such as the former ill-stocked library. Library is not rich with the latest technology and the latest resources, books, and there is an absence of well-equipped laboratories. Even in social sciences, or for that matter, I think how we are going to deal with again is important. Unless until we fund adequately, things will not move in the right direction. Lack of adequate finances have to be addressed urgently. Means the number of constants or the impediment to which already I have highlighted is that means we need to make the library rich in terms of the resources, in terms of the human resources, in terms of the physical infrastructure, and lack of adequate finance have to be dealt with very, very at the top level. So the need of the hour, the need of the time is for innovations and inventions. And this could be only made possible if we are going to make the higher education excellent and to bring at par with any developed nations of the world before we think of the Brexit Bharat. So again, and already I have told you that we have the problem. You must be wondering what I am talking about. So my take is that the problem lies only with the government side or the management side. If we manage our education, our higher education system well, I think everything is going to be possible. Means good governance must be brought into the domain of higher education, better management. And this could be only possible if we are going to give the university or in the right hand of the visionary. If the visionary is going to lead, is going to take over as a vice chancellor, is going to take over as a president, is going to take over the principal, I think things will move in the right direction, and we will be able to bring the excellence in the higher education. As we have enough infrastructure is there. I think again, you must be wanting, and I am just highlighting one point. We have seen many countries They have spent a lot of money, 6%, some in some countries 8%, even 10%. But in our own country, for the last many years, many decades, I think we have never realized, we have never spent more than 3 to at most 3 around percent. And many times it has been recommended that we need to go at least for 6%. But it is only rhetoric. So again, we need to examine what we are going to do and what we are doing. It is again very, very important. So my take is that research and the pedagogy means teaching, research, teaching means as a whole. I think education as a whole must be taken as a priority, rather as a top priority. Let me tell you, of course, top priority, education and the health. These two sectors must be taken into the at the top. Then we can think of everything will go in the positive direction. So it is the responsibility of the academia to convince the other stakeholders, and we need to play our very proactive role as it is being demanded by the society, that we need to come at the forefront and work discharge our responsibility responsibly. So the innate talents of our researchers had to be nurtured, fostered to make a mark in the global world. So this is all I wanted to share with you, that what we need as a faculty, we need to do means what are the problems? I have highlighted problems, I have highlighted challenges, I have highlighted the issues. I have also given some sort of possible solutions, means what on the part of the policymakers need to do, what on the part of the state need to do, what on the part of us we need to do, what on the part of the top level management in the higher education need to do. So I have given these all issues in the very integrative manner. And what is the potential of higher education? Means if we are going to raise the standard of higher education, definitely democracy is going to be strengthened. Even equality is going to be brought. Even gender problem is going to be resolved. And even there will be inclusion of the other segments of the society. These all things are going to be done in the positive direction. So we as a privileged sections of the society, of course we are privileged, and we should realize that we are extremely privileged in the society. So what basically we are going to do, it is the loan of the society, because we have got a lot of things privilege from the society. So now it is the turn for all of us to give it back to the society. To the society means global society, Indian society, and whatever you say that. If I do something for my university, it is not only for the university, it will have the cascading impact, a snowball impact. If I make a research, if I teach one batch of students in a very good, I think it will have the multiplier effect in the society. So I have been appointed, any teacher has been roughly appointed for 30 or 35 years. So we teach at least 30, 35 years of batch. So we can make the fate or fate of 35 batches. So our contribution seems to be very, very, if you calculate, if you see, I think very pertinent. Our contribution, our role is really a matter of pride, and that should be taken in a very positive way. So we all should feel privileged, we all should feel motivated, so that we can contribute for the growth and development, and basically to change the fate of the students or to the young minds. So it is the responsibility of each and every teacher, 15 marks teacher, to contribute. And how do we contribute? To teach the students in a better way, to guide them, to motivate them, to inspire them. These are the functions, these are the responsibility the society is expecting from our part. So I should not take much of your time. Already, I think only I think how much time? 15, 20 minutes are left. Because when I was in the staff college, a year back, I was there. So many times there was a complaint on the part of the students, teachers, that the teacher to whom you call or invited to talk to us, he hardly gave time to me. She hardly gave time to me. He invested all time. He wasted all time. He ate all time. So here I should stop here, so that you should also get time for your own question, and I will be extremely happy to answer your question if I can. So thank you once again for so much patient hearing indeed. Yes. So can you meet once again? I'm very, very thankful to all of you. Yes, please. Are you connected? Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Tell me. I think we are not saying. My video is there.
Yes, sir, please.
So I deliberately gave at least 15 minutes so that you can come with your own questions. Question, queries, observation, or any points.
Any questions from audience side, please? Any questions?
Yes, please. Feel free to ask the question.
As the topic is wonderful, so anyone wants to ask, they are free to ask. Kindly ask. Participant, I request.
Please. I'm so happy. I will be extremely happy to pose any question. Any question or observation, in fact, your own experience. You have been teaching in your own college or university for a long time. You must have your own take on higher education, fate of higher education, quality of higher education, status of higher education, and research, teaching, research, extension, anything you wish.
Nowadays, what happens, sir?
Yes.
I'm having one, not as a query, but an experience, out of experience.
Your experience, address it up.
I'm working with this SIPNA college from last 25 years. SIPNA Engineering College, Amravati.
Okay.
And what I'm experiencing is that nowadays what happened, the students are not habitual to go to the library and reading the books. And reference books are always the everything for that respective subject with the teacher also. So this is the big challenge, that students are not directly learning from the books as such, reference books. There are few good reference books. They normally learn from the videos and some e-content also there. So the detailing, the detailed study of the student is nowadays it is missing. It is a challenge.
Yes. I think it is the responsibility of all of us. I think if any challenge comes in between the students and the teachers, in the sense that they go for shortcut in the sense that whatever the Google provides, they think that this is good enough. But unless until we motivate or inspire the students, that basic knowledge and fundamental knowledge, and for that you need to consult the reference book or textbook, going to the library. Sometimes it is also, we cannot blame all the students in the sense that if you go to the library, you will not find the books. So problems are from many directions. So we as a teacher, we as a very conscious citizen of the nation, we need to cultivate the culture of research, culture of teaching, culture of I think, as it is said, that we need to convert the class which would be learner-centric, means student-centric. So do you think that the system to which we all are having is a student-centric or the learner-centric? Definitely not. So we need to first of all create the class which would be learner-centric. If we are going to motivate the students, if we are going to inspire the students in the right direction, definitely they will go. They will go to the library. If and on the other hand, I think all the resources, that is resources must be available in the library. If it is not available, why will they go? Definitely they will not go. And of course, whatever the literature available, other than that, one video and e-content, I think these are not good enough. But over and above, if some students make a study for that, so it would be a wonderful idea. But for basic knowledge, for fundamental, foundational, I think understanding, I think reference and the textbooks are very important. We cannot replace, as it is a chat GPT and artificial intelligence is not going to replace the human mind. I think computer has not replaced us. So these all are the technology. Robo has not replaced us. Never. And even if the same thing is going to happen with the AI. I think it is not going to replace. So our mind, our existence will be there, but it is a threat to all of us, no doubt. So we need to adaptable. We need to adapt the situation, new technology, and use for the benefit of the humanity, use for the benefit of the society. I think these things are going to be there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And challenges are there. Without challenge, I think we all are here to overcome the challenges. We all are here to overcome the challenges. And we make the students realize that unless until you go to the library and basic, I think your purpose is not going to serve into sense of the term. So these all things are very important indeed.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yes. Any other comments?
Hello, may I?
Yes, sir. Please.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Myself, Dr. Ingole, and I am working head of department in Sukna Institute. Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you.
So, during your presentation, you talk about the global competencies and one component related with the experiential learning. How we can increase the component of experiential learning in our evaluation process? How we can inculcate that the component of experiential learning in evaluation process? Because when we see the conventional evaluation process, it is mostly the base of cognitive level. That is certain examination, end semester, mid semester, so and so. So how can we inculcate the content of experiential learning simultaneously? We can do the evaluation of that experiential learning and add that credit in a scorecard of the particular student.
I think if you see the national education policy right now, all these provisions are there. And we all are going to implement. It would take time because the experience, it is no alternative to experiential learning. As I gave one example that I think for completing your graduation, I think many milestones have been set for students. Okay. So after completion of 1 year, one can leave and it is the provision, it is the choice also that he or she would start learning as the certificate course, and thereafter 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years like that, again he or she can join. So while learning, earning, these all things are now going to be practicable, and we need to make it practicable so that otherwise only we will become theoretical and as it is right now. So making the system practicable, system or everybody practicable, I think we all are going to do it, and we are moving on that direction. As it is clearly said that there's a provision For even today, I think one at a time, you can do one course, or I think it is also the provision that while completing your graduation, you can also learn. You can also earn. I think this kind of provision is there, if you see. So we are thinking that whatever the problems were there in the past, we are going to omit, we are going to see the students who are going from here abroad, this kind of provision is there. So in order to make their education affordable, I think they all are doing it. So we are also following, we are also experimenting, we are also going to do so that this kind of provision would be there. If I am doing, I would be allowed. If I am doing graduation, I am doing PG, I am doing something like that. So I would be allowed. And the system or the policy to which we all have already been implemented, these all provisions are there. I think these all provisions are there. While learning, this kind of situation, this kind of provision has been clearly. So we are talking of the future because unless until we do, there would be no any kind of linkages between the industry and the academia, which was missing in the past. So now, in order to collaborate, in order to have the linkages, this kind of skill development India, that ministry. So a lot of things are there. So those who are doing, those who are engaged, they would also get the chance to continue his or her education. This kind of thing is there. Previously, it was no, if you are doing, you cannot do this thing. But now this kind of thing has gone away. Let me tell you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please. Anyone?
I think there are no questions now. Ankit sir, should we go for conclude?
If anything is there, I'm here to listen. I'm here to reply.
Atik sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think there are a few questions have been asked by me and other faculties and our English sir also just now. It has been beautifully explained by our resource person, Anisur Rahman sir. So I'm thankful to our resource person for today's wonderful session.
Yes, sir.
So
let me take this opportunity to thank Professor Anisur Rahman sir.
Shukriya, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I would like
I
to
have
put on
tried
record.
my level best. I have tried my level best to
Yes,
come
sir.
up to their expectation.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now,
yes, sir. We trouble you every now and then, sir, and you always say yes to us. Okay, sir. For
my
that,
pleasure
I would
indeed.
like to put my sincere thanks on record to Professor Anisur Rahman, sir. Sir is a great academician, as you must have experienced while his talk was going on. Sir, I have attended the entire session, sir. So I have
Oh,
attended
thank
it.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you
And it
so
was
much.
really great to listen you. And we are once again thankful to you, sir. And if there are any queries,
Yeah, I will be
participants,
extremely
yes.
happy to answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If any question is there, any observation or any
Yes, sir.
practical experiences, anything is there,
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
will be glad
Sir,
to listen.
sir, I think you were discussing about that is earlier there were hurdles for continuing education. I would like to share my story that
Yes,
I am pursuing right now. I have completed LLB while in service, okay, in 2024, and right now I am pursuing LLM. So
yes, yes.
actually, this is just because of NEP, I should say. Right?
Yes,
Earlier there were hurdles. That is when you are in a regular employment. So the issues were there. But now it is up to you to decide. And as you have rightly said that we must become a lifelong learner. Lifelong learning is very much needed, sir. That is the need of the hour. Yes, sir.
You can study
So
the
on this
book
note,
written by Daniel Will, From Cradle to Grave. I think, yes, we learn and we should learn from the day we are born till the end comes. I think this is the learning is an art, and it is the necessity of life also to make life a better one. I think this is very, very important. So taking that weave into the mind, if you see the policy, if you analyze this NEP, National Education Policy 2020, it seems to be very dynamic. It seems to be very
Correct.
flexible also.
Yes, sir.
So a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of opportunities has been created in
Yes.
the sense that one at a time you can do 2 courses. I think these
Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
provisions are there.
So that is again
And for
possible.
a student, milestones have been given for completion of the graduation for after completing 1 year.
Yes,
Previously,
sir.
it was not like that. You need
Yes,
to
sir.
complete 3 years, then you would be given the degree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
But
there is a
now,
lot of
after
flexibility
completion
again.
of 1 year, one
Yes.
can leave it out. He or she can do the job or whatever. It all depends on his or her choice. So
Yes, sir.
certificate, diploma, and then degree and degree with research.
Yes.
So it is
Yes, sir. Yes.
made very viable. So I will strongly
Yes.
suggest and urge all of my colleagues that they
Yes,
must study this NEP. That is the purpose. So my
Yes.
purpose was to connect with you so that
Yes.
I could sensitize all of you so
Thank
that
you, sir.
you can at
Yes.
least study this very small document in the sense
Yes, sir.
that
Yes.
when it was in the draft form, it was
Yes, sir.
running into 400 plus pages. Now it has
Yes,
been
sir.
concise to only 60 or 64 pages.
Yes,
And
sir. Yes.
very good document. I
Yes,
think
sir.
we can
Yes.
learn a great deal
Yes,
and
sir.
we can also give the suggestion because it's a
Yes, sir.
roadmap. It's a
Yes,
roadmap
sir.
in the sense that nothing is, it cannot say that
Impossible.
it cannot be changed. I think there's a lot of
Yes, yes.
flexibility, lot of dynamism is
Yes.
there,
Yes.
and a lot
Thank
of
you, sir.
interpretation is also possible within that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir,
you, sir.
for your delightful talk, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, my Dr. Sanjay Khiride sir is also there in the meeting.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
as the program is ending
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
I
Good
request
afternoon, sir.
Good
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Very
Good
good
afternoon,
afternoon.
sir. Good afternoon. Sir, your speech was going on, Rahman sir. So that's why I haven't disturbed you. I was just listening carefully. It was really a wonderful insight.
Thank you so much, indeed. Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you,
indeed.
sir.
Thank you,
sir,
sir.
now I request Sanjay Khiride sir to give the concluding remarks as a principal of Sipna College of Engineering Technology, Amravati, as a co-host for this program.
Okay.
Sir, Anisur Rahman sir, before sir proceed, if you are if you can spare some 10-15 minutes with us, that would be fine for us, sir, because it is the last session which is going on, and so Khede sir, and then yes sir, please sir, yes sir.
Please, sir.
Please,
So
sir.
should I or?
Yes sir, please. No, sir, please, please,
Okay, okay.
please sir.
So very good afternoon to everyone. I'm really very much thankful to my beloved friend Mohammad Atiq sir for giving us this opportunity to be part of this FDP in the virtual mode on online mode. We were all talking about the national education policy from long time, but the initiative that has been taken by Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, basic, and that was supported by our HRDC center. So, being a coordinator, Atiq sir has given us the opportunity to co-host this program. And I am very fortunate because this program, as it was the specially designed for me and my team, because most of the members were from our host institute, Sipna School of Planning and Architecture and Sipna College of Engineering and Technology. And over this last week, they have touched almost the different various facets. We have seen right from the Indian knowledge system to starting from the National Credit Framework, National Screen Framework, to the MOOCs, to the SWAYAM, and almost every single aspect from interdisciplinary to multidisciplinary. And now the Rahman sir session was the, I can say, the icing over the cake, because almost every single aspect has been covered. Because so far, when the question came from the NEP, everyone was talking about those salient features, that how the policy came into the force, what is the NCRF, what is the different type of ranking framework, how the single regulator is going to play a role, how HERA is going to play a role, and so on and so forth. But these are various type of the aspects. It may be related to mentoring, it may be related to the counseling, it may be related to the research foundation. Those are much more important than that. And I'm very happy that the research person from various domains with various type of background and expertise has shared that one. Yesterday, we had a people from the Sanskrit Vidyapit. Day before that, we had a member from Mahavishnu Devi University. We had our own people from our own city, Amravati, we have touched upon the National Credit Framework. They have talked about the MOOCs and SWAYAM and online platform. And that's why all the participants were really fortunate enough to have the opportunity to listen these people from various domains who have proved themselves and giving the direction and helping the MMTTC also for spread of this NEP in the right spirit. So really, beside the very busy schedule of the participant as well, they also try to do the justice that they all were more attentive. They have taken the benefits of the deliberation that has been given by this expert member. So Atik sir, I am very much thankful. I am very much thankful to Ankit sir also, but the way he has smoothly coordinated, right? I had played the dual role day before yesterday. I have behaved like a participant. Yesterday, I did not get an opportunity to enter into the classroom, but still I was attending the session from other because Kalapini Agasti madam was very close to us. We had arranged her session. So meantime, I left the session and joined from somebody else in tech. So I'm thankful to my colleague, Dr. Nilesh Kasat sir and Dr. Harsha Vyavare ma'am also, because they have organized this program very smoothly. I had intimated them in the last hour, but the kind of follow-up they took over this last week time was really this one. So your all efforts are really, really very much appreciable, sir. Thank you, Kasat sir, Vyavare ma'am as well. There are many more things that NEP has really planned for us. And it's not only a question of MTP and others, because as we start practicing, there are many more opportunities on the way. We need to strengthen many more our facilities. It may be in the form of MIS or ERP, because ABC is also one of the backbone. When it comes to the credit transfers of the students, that proper tie-up and different types of MOU with the institutes as per the guidelines of the NEP that required to be strengthened, then and then only we can, in a true spirit, we can implement the NEP. This is my own personal feeling and thought process. There are many more things to can be talked of, but being this a validity section, once again, I thanks Atik sir and his team for giving us an opportunity to be a partner on this journey of NEP spread. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Kasat sir.
Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of our Sipna College, I'm thankful to the opportunity given by Atik sir to our college. Thanks to our Honorable Principal sir, Dr. Krede sir, that they have given opportunity to me and Vyavare madam and most of my all the colleagues to be made available for NEP, to be aware for this actual need. So thank you very much. And thanks to all the who directly, indirectly supported my all the colleagues working as a head of the departments of different disciplines and programs, the different deans and DPCs working at our institute. And thank you to all my faculty colleagues member joining on Sundays also and enthusiastically participated too. So finally, I request to all the members to just put your camera on so that Professor Otkar sir can take the screenshot.
Sir, before we conclude, you allow me to speak for 1 or 2 minutes, sir.
अरे
That is my
सर
apology.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर एक बार फोटो ले लेते हैं.
अच्छा ठीक है
हाँ
No
फोटो ले
problem.
लेते हैं.
No problem.
Is it done, Otkar sir?
Sir, just a second. 4 pages are there. Just wait. 2 pages are over. Sir, done.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to Atik, sir.
Thank you, sir. Actually, this is just informal, I should say, but I feel that it is necessary at the same time to thank particularly the principal, Dr. Sanjay Khede, sir, for collaborating with MMTC, HRDC, SGBAU, Amravati University, Amravati. And apart from that, that is, I would like to extend the thanks to the SIPNA Education Society as well for extending their support for making this particular program happen. With regard to NEP, I think we have succeeded in our effort to make it happen, right? And in future, what will happen is that is, when I was attending this last session by Anisur Rahman sir, there were questions like, sir, what is experiential learning and so on. So I feel that we have succeeded in our effort to make this NEP in a successful manner, right? That is one thing. And I hope I am audible. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
But,
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, I would like to finally, I would like to conclude with the remark that the future is challenging for all of us. That is for teachers, right? So we need to we need to adopt the technological changes, whatever is happening at Jet Place, I should say, right? And with this note, I once again thank particularly all the resource persons who have contributed. I would like to say particularly to the Anisur Rahman sir and all resource persons who have contributed for making this particular program a grand success. Thank you very much. And once again, we will meet some other day and we will collaborate in near future as well. So with this note, I'll take your leave. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you. A special thanks to you because you have the two special sessions, that to a session on Sunday. You have introduced to us to complete garden story of answer garden to hot potato. So you won't forget our Sunday was really special. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Atik
much.
sir, Dr. Atik sir, I'm still looking for those hot potatoes.
My, sir. You will get it, sir.
I have frozen them and I'm looking forward for this coming Sunday. Hello, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We will
you
have
all,
lunch, sir.
all of us.
Yes,
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to honorable officials of Amravati University, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.